Welcome to the You and You podcast, hosted by me, Sanjeev Sangha. If you enjoy the episode and podcast, please hit the like button or share it with your friends. Your support means the world to me. It enables me to carry on doing it. And, well, I'm very grateful. In this podcast, we explore a new word or phrase in every episode. It's how that word has impacted my life, the struggles I may have had with it, or my understanding of it, and then the journey I've taken with it to kind of move through whatever that issue may be. My hope is that it might offer you some insight and perhaps a little bit of inspiration so that you can navigate your way in whatever challenges you might be facing with that. Or maybe it's to help a friend who is also going through something similar. So today's word is time. It's quite an interesting one for me because I've had to take a bit of time out in doing this podcast because I was working, and when I found that I was writing these podcasts, I was going quite deep, and it needed some reflection, and then I could maybe lighten them a bit. So it's taken quite a bit of time to work through it, and also a bit of time to understand how the direction of this podcast is going to flow as well, in order for it to be the most use, so it can be practical, and also so we can open the conversation up and it's not just me talking. I'm relaunching this at a time when the seasons are closing in, but also it's the Festival of Light. It's Diwali today. It's a Hindu and a Sikh festival, and it's a celebration, and I think it's about community as well and resets. So time at this moment, the nights are getting longer, the days are getting shorter. Where are we with time? So what is time? Time's a little bit abstract. Some people say it's a loop. Others think it's arbitrary. Some insist it's non-linear. The definition is the indefinite continued progress of existence and the events in the past, present and future regarded as a whole. When I was a child, time moved so slowly. It felt endless. And I had one of those days yesterday where I was driving back, it was 2 hours, and instead of an easy run, it was lots of winding roads. I was like, this time is taking so long. When I was a child, I think of those long summers, the holidays that seemed to stretch forever, but gradually over time, it started to speed up. If I was excited about something, though, time would feel slow. It's amazing how elastic time can feel. My relationship with time has changed a lot. In my 20s, I didn't plan much. I was so reactive to whatever was happening around me, whether that was working or hanging out with friends. I filled every moment with fun and activities where I could, living very much in the moment. And I'd keep going until the point of exhaustion. I think you can do that quite a lot when you're in your 20s. And I was a little bit like that through my 30s too. Over time, though, can't help but laugh at this, I began to notice when people were starting to waste my time, or they would let me down at the last minute. And I used to get upset because it's like, well, I could have spent that time with other people or doing another activity. And at first I'd let it go. But as I moved into my late 30s, I started to respect my own time and myself a little bit more. So it did start changing those relationships. There's a concept called proportional theory, which says time feels faster as we age because each year becomes a smaller percentage of our life. And that's quite an interesting concept in itself. That idea resonates with me. When I reflect on friendship and growing older, I realise that I didn't truly understand the value of time when I was younger. And also, I've had to create a friendship with myself as well, the most important one, or the key one. And even as we get older, it takes a while to grasp that our time is one of our most precious commodity. After our body and our health, time is the most valuable thing you will ever have. You need to invest your time, or we need to invest our time looking after ourselves. And that's our whole selves, our mind, our body and our soul. How we spend that time is critical to our well-being and the well-being of those around us. Because if we need more support, then we might need to lean into others. and it affects their well-being. And also when we want to help people, we have that strength as well. Time and how we spend it is a choice. It's comparable to money and far more valuable. Money is energy. It can buy you freedom, it can help you make easier choices and takes a load off. But time is what allows you to make the money in the first place. How you spend that time, whether it's with people, studying, scrolling, it shapes your life. It's how you nourish yourself. And I've got a recent example. I had to make a really important decision on whether or not I was going to continue in a role where I could do it, or if I needed to challenge myself with my time for something that I could embrace. I chose the latter, so let's see. I'm going to have to take a deep dive on that. There have been many times in my life where I've worked consistently, often for other people's benefit. I remember I was running a business as a side hustle, working insane hours for somebody else and running their business, and then to come home and then work on my own projects. And I was exhausted. It came, even though I was learning and growing, I was ignoring significant parts of my life because there's lots of parts to your life. It isn't just work, it's not just exercise, it's love, it's family, it's being able to spend time alone. And when I ignored all the other parts of myself, that's when the true balance in my life was lost. Podcasting is a great example. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy for me to write them, edit them, make them remotely interesting, then recording it, editing, and then I've got to start promoting it. But I think it's worth it, even if it's for my own learning. That learning for me comes from reflecting and writing. I wasn't a writer, as I've mentioned previously, and also talking to new people about ideas that stretch them and me. Sometimes I have to spend time in areas that I really don't want to, but that's how we grow. And that is with a lot of these subjects. I don't want to necessarily look at them. But over time, I'm sorry I keep saying that word, but it is today's podcast, those challenges become easier. I realise that I'm sharing a lot of my life here, and that feels quite strange. But the time we spend getting to know ourselves is a powerful and revealing tool. So, do you know yourself? Do you know what you really enjoy and how you enjoy spending your time? Can you sit with yourself and feel okay in that and within that space that you've created? Or do you need to create a new space? Who are you choosing to spend your time with? Do you love them? Do you have fun with them? Do they lift you or do they drain you? Are you learning from them or are they learning from you? If they're learning from you, are you enjoying sharing your knowledge? Because that's such a great tool and actually something that you can move forward with. Or do you just love learning? These things matter because of the way we spend our time, and who we spend it with shapes who we become and who we choose to become as well. We often say we don't have enough time, and actually, I think it's elastic. So we generally do. But have you noticed that when you rush, things go really wrong? You drop something or you hurt yourself and you make mistakes, and then it really slows you down because you might have cut your finger or something, and then you have to find a plaster and pick up all the blood or, whatever it is. But with time, you don't get a redo. We never feel the same as we did in any given moment. You can't recreate every condition, emotion, and experience, even if you try to, because both you and the world change in every moment. And it's quite an oddity because sometimes we try and create the time that we had before, but we can't. But it doesn't mean we can't enjoy it. What I've learned is that you can't get time back. Some people believe time isn't linear, that there's no past, present, or future. It's just the now. But are we ever truly in the now? For years, I was thinking about the past. I lived in the past and I learnt the hard way that you can't change it. And it was such a struggle. And then I spent time dreaming about the future, which hadn't happened and I couldn't change or couldn't control because none of that stuff happened that I ever thought would. Eventually, that became anxiety provoking. And that's partly because of my profession. As an architect, you're always thinking ahead. You're thinking about, is this building right for this site? How do I need to change it? How will it impact the neighbours? How will the people engage with it? What will happen to the public? How will it be constructed? How will it be maintained in the years to come? And how will it age? It's like a 3D Tetris of so many different components, not just the materiality and the spaces. And everything is interconnected. And every choice that you make for that building impacts how it's going to be used and built in the future. So even when I wasn't working in the moment, my mind was always thinking forward and ahead. That mindset spilled into other areas of my life, and unlearning it, learning to be present, has been one of the biggest challenges I've faced. Is time a healer? People say time is a healer. In some ways, I agree. The pain becomes less in whatever has happened. But in other circumstances, I really don't. I think it gives us space. It gives us space to grow, to reflect, and actually maybe just to be okay and accept whatever's happened. But healing isn't an automatic thing. It's something that unfolds with awareness and compassion. So if time is something we can't get back, how do you want to spend it? Where do you find value? Where do you find joy? What kind of joy is it? Is it that quick dopamine hit you get when you buy something online and you've got that last one going, or when you're buying something on eBay, that nice little rush? Or is it something deeper, something a bit more long lasting? At one point, I had to look back at what I really enjoyed as a child. And that was so that I could see what I might enjoy in that present moment and how I used to play. So I really thought about it, and I rediscovered what brought me real joy. And it was through creativity and making things. And then I started doing that. I started taking little courses, and I had some really lovely pieces of work from those. And that reconnected with elements of joy and actually created lightness in other areas of my life. True joy can also come from helping others, from being of service. That doesn't mean just giving away your time for nothing, or that you should always be paid. You know, there's a balance there. In Punjabi, there's a word that I love, and it's seva, which means selfless service. It's about giving your time or energy to help others, to support your community, or simply do good. That kind of service doesn't just help others, it grounds you, it creates a really nice community around you, and it can have a really positive impact. It gives your time purpose and meaning, and it helps you feel part of something bigger. So, how are you spending your time? What are you investing in? And are those moments adding joy, growth, and peace to your life? Or do you like a bit of chaos? Because that can be fun. Remember, time is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely, invest it kindly, and treasure it deeply. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Send me any questions you have on Instagram, or any comments about this episode. And, yay! Thank you for listening to the You and You podcast.